And so the wisdom that's poured into this process from somebody who's been there, done that, is only gonna add value. It's only gonna make it better. It's only gonna sharpen me and make you better. And so I think that mentorship is so important, but I also think the humility to receive from a mentor, and to listen, even if sometimes your opinion may be different, but to hear what they're saying and to really listen and to weigh it out, because they have been there before you, especially if it's somebody that you know that person just wants to see you win. My name is Shannon Briggs Robinson.
Okay.
The Robinsons because I got married.
Congratulations.
7 years ago. Not recent, but
7 years in. That's beautiful, beautiful.
Before I got married, it was just Shannon Briggs. Now it's Shannon Briggs Robinson. And I am from, originally, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay. And what brings you to New Orleans?
Well, I came to New Orleans for school.
Okay.
I went to Loyola, go Wolfpack. And I wanted to be a rapper. And I still got bars, for those who are wondering. But we're not going to do that right now. But I wanted to be a rapper. And shortly after I got out of school, I went into education. I was doing education and some art for a few years. And then after I stopped that, I went into ministry. And I was just volunteering at my church. Then I got on the leadership team and I was helping out my pastors. And then actually about a year and a few months ago, my pastors moved to California, and my husband and I took over our church here in New Orleans in Mid-City. And so one thing that I always told the Lord was I wanted to be financially stable so that anything he called me to do for him, that money would never hinder me from saying yes. And so that, I think, is what really exploded the brewing desire in my heart to do real estate. I've always had a soft spot for it because growing up, my dad owned properties and that really helped our family through some tough times. And so I just saw how real estate was such an awesome means to an end financially, but then to own land and own spaces where you can help people in times of need. And all of those things are really dear to my heart, as well as being financially free so I can do what Jesus wants me to do. So that is sort of what got the ball rolling for me.
So is this your first new construction project?
Yes, this is my first new construction project. And it was funny because when I bought our first home, which is actually next door, it's a duplex. And when I bought that duplex, it came with an empty lot, which is really what attracted me to that deal. And so I knew at some point I was going to build on it, but it just seemed like in the height of COVID and the cost of materials that wasn't an option. And so after we bought that house about 2 years ago, I just started driving for dollars, and I was just trying to figure out, Googling and YouTubing every method, going to all of the seminars, trying to figure out what's my next real estate move. But maybe about, I'd say 7-8 months ago, I was thinking about it and I was praying about it. Come on. And I felt like the Lord was like, start with what you have. You have that lot. It's time to build on the lot. And then I heard that the West Bank Real Estate Association was having a speaker come, a woman, praise God, and she was going to be talking about building new construction on lots. And it was so funny because that day I had something else scheduled, and I was thinking, should I go to the thing? I already committed, but I was like, I really want to hear this woman speak. And so I decided to go to the thing. My husband was like, go to the thing. So I went to the real estate investors meeting and I was running late. And I was a little bit bummed because I didn't want to be that girl who's like walking in late. Everybody's looking, the speaker's going, and they think I'm, I don't know, just running on CP time. So I'm like running through the parking lot, trying to get there, trying to find the place. And I see this other woman and I'm like, are you looking for the real estate investors meeting? And she's like, yes, I'm the speaker. And I'm like, and I'm like, oh my goodness, wonderful. I'm here to see you. Let's walk in together. And so she was just a wonderful woman. You meet her and it feels like you're old friends. So we're just talking, we walk in, she gives a great interview. And afterwards she's like, I think I can help you. It was funny too. I was maybe 2 weeks away from signing with a contractor at a particular price. And when I told her the price, she was like, girl, do not do that. Don't do that. You can build for cheaper than that. And I'm like, are you sure? Because this is the price that I've talked to maybe 3 or 4, and this is what they're all quoting me. She's like, absolutely. And so I guess we'll get into the details in a bit, but that conversation saved me almost $100,000 on the spot.
Wow. Danielle, who's been on the channel multiple times. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
So, can we just talk about how you met Shannon in this lobby by the grace of God, and it's just been like building ever since?
Yeah, it was crazy. I was in the parking lot. I think I just dropped off my daughter, so I was running late. And I always forget how to get into the West Bank Real Estate Meetup. So I was
weird.
like, wait, what the heck? And then I looked up and saw her, and she asked me. I was like, yeah, I'm going. And I was like, yeah, I'm the speaker. She was like, oh my God. I was like, girl, come on, let's find this place. So we got in, and then, it actually, we weren't that late. They were doing something. They had some kind of audio issue or something. And then I did the interview, and afterwards everybody was talking, and at the end Shannon was there, and we got to talking, and that was it.
Okay.
That deal.
Now, where do you come to play, and what have you done to assist Shannon throughout this project?
Okay, so initially we started with like a 2-day for a couple of hours, just talking about me teaching her how to analyze your market, trying to figure out exactly what she wants to do, how to do it, pulling in the resources to do it, as far as banks, contractors, inspectors, and just helping her get ducks in a row and move forward with actionable steps. But the first 2 days is really more intensive on how to be an investor all around, like how to know your numbers before you're going into a deal. How much am I going to make on this deal? Am I renting? Am I selling? What are my comps? All those type of market things. And then after that, I pretty much make myself available to her as she comes with deals. So she'll send me something and we'll discuss it, and I say, well, run the numbers like I taught you how to run the numbers. And then she does, and we kind of just talk it out via Voxer. It's a little app, or if we need to, we'll get on a call or a Zoom, and just pretty much like that. So anytime she needs something dealing with this project or any project, she's calling me and I'm answering to be there, because my goal was to be, I'm not going to say the thing I didn't have, but to kind of be the person I didn't have. Like, I had people in certain places giving me just enough, but I didn't have a sounding board to just run everything. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. What am I doing? So my goal is to be that person, because in our community we don't really have that. And I even get people, like a guy called me from Pittsburgh the other day, and I'm like, Pittsburgh? How did you? Yeah, like, how did you find me? And he's like, YouTube. I was like, I have something on YouTube. But he was like, I spoke to this one and that one, and he didn't say names, but he's like, nobody really wants to help me. And so I'm like, yeah, I can help you. There's a cost though to help as well,
because you do coaching,
because it's time, right? Because it's time. So like, me and Shannon have been working together since when? Maybe August.
Yeah, I was about to say August
of
or September of last year.
Yeah. So it takes time.
And you saved, like she mentioned, you saved, what was it, 100,000 before?
I think it was like 90 something. We're just gonna round $100,000.
Yeah.
Because probably just in those process too. But just off of her explaining that I could get this house done at a much cheaper rate.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when you don't know the numbers and you don't know what's really out there, like how much it actually costs to do, what percentage a contractor should actually be making off a project, they can give you any number and you just think, oh, okay, that's it. When they're looking to make crazy bank off your deal, and at the end of the day, you're gonna have to pay that mortgage, not them. So when I heard the number, I said, oh no, ma'am, call me. Just call me, we'll talk, because it was like $40-50 over regular contractor price.
And that can make or break a deal, especially in this market right now.
Yeah. It broke this deal. Like if she'd have went with that contractor, this would be a bad deal. This house would be upside down.
Wow.
You know, so
yeah.
And I would say, I mean, I started the channel for my journey and to meet other people, and I met Danielle, and we've been keeping up. And like initially, like this is what she wanted to do. She wanted to be that vessel for other people, you know, that she wished she had. So I really love to see this. I know my fiance's gonna love this video. She loves Danielle.
So, hey girl.
It's very like, you know, remarkable to see, you know, you two coming together and you have your projects and, you know, just because I see what's in store. And I see, you know, I love to see what Danielle initially talked to us about maybe like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's coming into fruition. So I love it. I love it.
Yeah. And can I say one thing?
Yeah.
So the thing about what you just said, you can see what's coming. When you get a person like Shannon and you teach them how to fish, they'll fish forever, right? So if I teach you how to build a house, now it's like, where's the lot? Oh, let me see the numbers. Oh, this will work. Let me use this guy for that, put this together. I'll sell it. I'll pull equity. I'll do it again. I'll rent it. I'll short term. I'll mid-term. You know, it just opens up the possibilities for you to do just what you said. Like your dad started here. He allowed you to start here. Now you'll be up here somewhere for your baby.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So that's the goal.
Yeah.
So Danielle, you know, the impact and things that you've done and collaborated with Shannon, I know you do that and you're open to do it with other people as well. Like, you know, like what levels are we talking? Talking about like rookies, newbies? Like,
so with the one-on-one mentoring that I do over the course of a year, I'm also looking for people like Shannon, people who are already in position. They have an idea where they want to go, and they need somebody to handhold them through the process. So that's my main thing. I love doing that because it gives them the support they need, and the wisdom they need to make the right moves. And usually we don't have that guidance. Like, where are we getting it from? Like, if our parents don't know, or if our friends are not into real estate, where do you go? So that's one. Also, I'm working on 2 other offerings for people who are beginners or intermediates, just to get the knowledge, the information on how to analyze these deals, how to make the moves, how to get into position, right? Because unless you get in position and you understand the math of this thing, you can't move on to the next phase of either building or buying or anything. You need to know all your numbers in the beginning. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I'll say this just because before I met Danielle, there were a couple years ago when I was going to different seminars and things. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do in real estate. I knew I wanted to do something, and there were a couple that I signed up for and paid for, and while the information was good, it was like you in a room full of 100 people, and they just give you a binder and they run through all this stuff, and they're like, you're gonna make a ton of money, you're gonna make a ton of money, look at the deal, look at the deal, look at the deal I did, and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna be rich, and then you leave and you're like, what do I do with all of this?
Yeah, I've been there.
And you're floundering and you're drowning and you're trying to remember your notes and remember what they said, and you are just on your own. And it's like you were drinking from a fire hose. I'm sure some of the information was good, but you don't have, I can't call the seminar guy now. He's long gone to Vegas getting everybody else's money and doing the seminar there. And so I think just for me, I really just benefited from having a human being that I could connect with, that I could call, who was gonna check up on me and who was gonna hold me accountable. I think that was it. And there was a information component too, but I think just having a real person close to your location, or just someone who is accessible, even if it's through technology, but just accessible to you, and not just you with a binder in a room full of hundreds of people and then you're sent home to do great things in real estate. It made all the difference in the world for me.
Definitely.
And I'll add this too. So I've run into, back in the days when I was coming up in real estate in my early 20s, the exact same thing that she's talking about, being in this big room, all these people, they hyped up,
Yeah.
And they do some stuff with some numbers, and it's like, okay, and then you're out here, what do I do? So with everything I offer, I try to make sure to give step by step actual things you need to do to get from A to Z, right? Whether that's you are buying a property to rent, to do whatever, or
Yeah.
you want to develop, right? It's
Yeah.
a streamlined process, and you get some curveballs
Yeah.
depending on the situation, but for the most part, it's a streamlined process. So my goal is to teach people that, and when they get some outlier, hey, call me and let's discuss, because there's always going to be a problem, but then you have to have the real estate investor mind to know that there's always a way around the problem,
Yeah.
right? I just got to think it through, pray it through, because God will give you the answer.
No, definitely. And just being able to see, like, when you're trying something new, especially like once you pass like 21, it's like life hits you and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. And you look for people to like relate. If it's like, oh, we're both female or we're both African American, it's something that you try to catch to, make it the dream attainable. So I believe the impact that Danielle is doing is really great. And I also believe, what you're doing, Shannon, being so strategic with buying this property with the property next door with the lot, and then another lot that you're going to subdivide, but just how that trickles.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure y'all are going to work together on some stuff. It just trickles and, collaboration over competition. And I just feel like that's just something that y'all are really doing. And I feel like it's definitely, I see it, it's definitely going to be something great. Wow. Perfect timing to meet her in the lobby, right?
I'm telling you. That's why you better pray God's faithful.
Yes, definitely. So can we just backtrack a little bit and talk about maybe like the impact of your father's real estate portfolio and journey, and how it had on you?
Yeah. So growing up, my family, we definitely weren't affluent. I mean, there was food on the table because my dad worked really hard, but there were some struggles. And I just remember growing up, my dad always owned properties. There were properties he bought before I was born. I think one of them he said he bought for like $10,000 cash, back when you could buy whole houses for houses in good shape, not like run down.
Okay.
And so he buys a couple of houses, I think, for pretty cheap when he was in his mid to late 20s. And so he always rented them out. And so when things got really tough, one, we had that rental income, but I know there was a season in my family that things got really hard. My dad lost his job that he had been working, I think, for about 25 years. And so some things got really challenging. We ended up having to move out of our home, but it was a beautiful thing that after his tenants' leases ended and they moved out, my family was able to move into one of the homes that he owned. For many years, I saw my dad, when people fell on tough times, when people needed a space, because he owned properties, he was always able to help people. And so not only was it a great means to an end in the sense of financial support for my family when we needed it most, but also my dad was able to support people in need. And I think that both of those things are really powerful. And I think also that real estate in itself can be a powerful tool for financial freedom. And I think, too, a lot of people of color in particular are sometimes left out of the loop. And so I was so grateful that my dad, he instilled in me not just the real estate, but the entrepreneurial spirit, and not feeling like I needed to be boxed into a 9-to-5. Not hating on anyone who has a 9-to-5, because I've worked one for a long time. But just for me to know that there are other options out there for me, and there are other things that I can do to make sure that I'm financially stable, that I'm creating generational wealth, and putting myself in a position where if my life is not going to be traditional, that I can still say yes to those things and still eat, because your girl like to eat.
So are you doing real estate? Is it just you, or are you doing it with your fiance as well?
With my husband? Yeah.
I'm sorry, husband.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So he's the bank, I'm the brains in the logistical.
Okay.
point. So we definitely do it together. All of our major decisions we make together. But I think we just really trust each other to manage what the things are that are our strengths. And so he's a software engineer. He works full time. He does that. I don't know nothing about nothing in software, nor do I need to know. When he has a problem at work, I make him a sandwich, I support him, I love on him, and I let him figure out all the computer stuff. When it comes to my stuff, the real estate stuff, if there's something that I'm trying to make a decision about, I'll definitely run it past him. He'll give me his thoughts. But other than that, he's pretty much like, do what you do, girl. And he's so proud. I brought him in here yesterday. He was like, man, you are killing it. And so he's just super proud. But we work together, but this is sort of my thing and he has his things. And when the things come together, they're beautiful things.
Understood. So you said you originally lived in a house next door.
Yes.
So was that more of your first investment property?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what sparked that bug to go with that? That's a duplex, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Why did you go with a duplex versus a single family home?
Yeah. So we actually still live next door right now. We knew we wanted to live in our own home. We felt like it was time. We wanted a little bit more space. And we felt like it was the time to buy. And the interest rates were, as many of you know, quite low during COVID. So we started shopping for duplexes because I wanted to keep my cost of living as little as possible. And also, when you move into a home, you're going to get a much better interest rate than if it's just an investment property. So we took the opportunity, since we were going to move into it, it was going to be a personal residence, to take advantage of that lower interest rate and capture an investment as well. So we were looking for a duplex. We were even thinking about a triplex at one point. That didn't end up working out. But when we found this duplex, we really liked it because number one, it was only 10 years old. It was in great shape. Number two, the tenant had kept her side in great shape, which as a landlord, you know, that is a blessing from heaven, that the tenant is taking great care of the property. We liked the neighborhood, and then it came with an empty lot next door included. And so we knew that not only were we capturing an investment property, capturing a single family home, but we were essentially capturing our next investment move all in one fell swoop. So it was hitting a lot of points that made it make sense for us.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
So when did you said about 7 to 8 months ago, that's when you really started to research and dig into this lot, right?
Yeah.
So did you have to like subdivide or anything like that, or was it already separated?
Yeah. So when we bought the property, at the closing table, the owner told us that the lot was subdivided. When it was rolling around for us to start the build, what we discovered was, I think he started the process of subdividing, but he didn't finish it. So there was some stuff that I still had to work out with the city. To be honest, it was quite a challenge with the city. I remember at that point, I was about 8 months pregnant with our baby girl, and I was emailing and calling and emailing and calling and emailing and calling. And I said, you know what, we're going down to the city because this is getting subdivided today. And so I remember like being like the size of a boulder, rolling around downtown, going from office to office, getting all the papers signed and just getting it handled. And so that day, everything got filed. Maybe a week or two later, it was finally officially subdivided. And then what I ended up having to do, because the lot was purchased with the duplex, the mortgage that I had really encompassed the lot and the duplex. So in order for me to get a construction loan on that lot, I had to get the mortgage released from the lot and just put on the residence that I was living in. So I talked to my lenders about that. I'd already built a pretty solid relationship with them because they helped me buy my first property, and since I also did the construction loan with them, it was all sort of in-house. They knew me, they liked me, and so they were willing to do that. So with just the sign of a paper, the mortgage came off this lot, got onto my house alone, and just like that, the lot was owned free and clear. Then I was able to get a construction loan to start building on the lot.
Okay. And yeah, that sounds 100% right about the city. I know.
Yeah.
But no, taking the initiative to go down, get all that stuff done, yeah, that takes much persistence.
So, fortitude.
And did you meet Danielle before or after that?
I met Danielle after that because I remember I was pregnant at the time, and so I was just trying to get everything subdivided, and so yeah. So at that time we were thinking about it, but it was still. I mean, I was setting up the pieces, right? But I I think maybe a little nervous or just feeling a little bit like I just need help taking the swing. Like I just need help to actually take the leap. I had all the pieces coming together, but I think just the support, it was a new thing. It was a big thing. It was big purchases, you know, and even though I did that one with my house, but just felt like building a house just felt like a different animal because it's my first one. I was a little unfamiliar. And so I met her after that. But it was a blessing to meet her when I did, because I feel like that relationship was maybe like the final piece of the puzzle to like take the swing and really get the process started.
So before we dig into that relationship and friendship, really, how was it approaching this as a woman in construction or a woman in investing?
Yeah.
You know, really, you know, the courage that you possess to even, you know, step into that. How has that been?
Yeah, I think initially, to be honest, a little intimidating. Even when I would go to the real estate seminars, because I was a part of NAREA for a while. I was going to the New Orleans Real Estate Investors Association. I would go to those meetings, and there definitely were women and people of color there, but we weren't the majority. And you know, even when they would say, hey, does anyone have an announcement for the group? But I would just, in those moments, always just challenge myself and just remind myself that I belong in any space that God will put me. It doesn't matter my age, doesn't matter my race, doesn't matter my skin color. None of that matters. If I'm here, then I belong here. And so I would always raise my hand and say something at those times. I would say like, hi, my name is Shannon. I don't own, this is before I owned anything. I don't own any doors yet, but I'm open. If someone wants to give me some advice, you can come and talk to me. I would love to pick your brains. And so really just challenging myself to not stay quiet, to not box myself in. But definitely there have been some challenges and some hurdles. I think when you're not an expert on something, it can be difficult to speak up about it or critique things if you feel like, I don't know. And I don't know a ton about construction. So again, I think even just having that relationship with Danielle to just encourage me to be like, girl, you better ask about this, or you better do it, girl, you better check on it, you know. And I think it's just caused me to dig a little bit deeper to make sure that I don't get complacent now that it started and just think, okay, my contractor's just gonna do it, and when it's done, he'll just give me the key. No, it's still my responsibility to manage what's going on because I'm the one who's taking the risk. So I need to be on top of things. So welcome to my humble abode, my first new construction. So this little beauty is going to be a duplex. I'll leave that open for the little light. But what you just stepped into is going to be the living space. We'll probably orient the room this way. So you'll have your TV hanging there. You'll have your seating, some cute little decor, maybe an accent wall, a super bomb front door. That's not that one. It's coming soon.
En route.
It's en route.
Yeah.
As you walk this way, you're gonna be in your space for your laundry and hopefully a little storage too. Yeah. So you'll have your washer dryer here. You have your essentials here. You have electrical and all the nitty gritty. But then you have your dining area. This will be here. And then as you move forward, you're gonna go into your kitchen. Now, one thing that I'm really thankful for in this space, though it's a modest size space, we definitely worked in, I think, some good storage for a space this size. And so you have a pretty decent sized pantry where you can keep your food, but also those huge pots and pans, crock pots, juicers, all that stuff that you use every once in a while, but then just be taking up all your space. You can just throw it in here. And then this is gonna be the kitchen area. So you'll have some counter space. About here, you'll have a stove, the microwave, and then it's gonna wrap around. So all this will be counter space. You'll have your sink about here, and then here you will have your dishwasher. And then up there will be cabinets. Hopefully we'll have enough that you can also sit here on the other side of the back-end service.
It's a nice setup,
Yeah, a little dining too.
Yes.
And then if you go this way, you are going into the master bedroom. So we have a double window, and then we'll have our TV here on this wall. And then as you go through, you're gonna walk into the master bath. It's gonna be cute. definitely modest size, but it'll be very cute. You have your shower tub combo, you'll have your vanity and your toilet, and then you will walk right through into your walk-in closet. And so I think this closet for a unit this size is pretty bomb. And so you're gonna be able to hang all your things. And if
this is a nice size.
Yeah.
This is a good size.
I know, it's bigger than my closet at home.
Good size.
So nice size closet. And then if you actually come this way, you're gonna go to your little balcony. Now it's gonna be beautiful, but you'll have your balcony here, and then there'll be some yard space if you wanna come out and just enjoy a warm New Orleans spring morning. And then if you come this way, you're gonna go into the hall closet. And then here will be another small closet where you can have your towels, your washcloths, cleaning products, whatever you like. You can keep
Good amount of storage.
Definitely a good amount of storage. And one thing I thought about, just because I really wanted to make good use of the space, and so we put all the bedrooms on this side, the living space on this side, so it could be nice and open. But I'm thankful that there's still this little lip here that kind of makes the bedroom area private. Doesn't feel like you're walking straight from the living room right into the bedroom. So you come this way, and then you have your guest bedroom. And so you also have a decent sized closet for your guest bedroom. And what I'm excited to do in this property is to make sure we have a lot of good lighting. So we'll have lighting from the ceiling fan, but also 4 recessed lights in each bedroom. A lot of recessed lighting in the living room, dining room, kitchen area, so that it can feel nice and bright. So I want people to feel happy to live here, and to feel like it was built and designed with love.
Yes. Danielle back there looking proud, you know.
The question I heard you talking to her about earlier, like being a woman in this business. So another reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, it wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm gonna coach and make a whole bunch of money. No, it was, let me set this up because people want to know, and who's giving them the information. Like, where are they getting education? Where are they getting the background knowledge from? So to be that person, but to be a woman in construction and real estate investing is a tough, place to be. And a lot of the women that I do talk to for, consultations or what have you, they're like, man, I talked to this guy, I talked to that guy, but they're not really helping me. Or I talked to this contractor, or this guy, he's got 30 properties, but they're not really helping me. And to me, it's kind of sad because it's us not helping us.
Yeah.
And it's just like everybody else is helping their people. Why are we not doing it, right? So for me, I just see the huge need in women. Let's teach you how to do this, so you can take this and bring this to, whoever you decide to marry, and then your family can build something, a foundation to stand on, and be, like we talked about earlier, on another level every generation.
Yeah.
But it is tough. But the more I educate and get women like her up to speed, it creates a community of women. So now it's like, oh, okay, I got about 5 or 6 people doing some things. And it's like, this is cool. And then these people kind of become my friends, and now they're my what do you call it?
Like your tribe?
No.
Partners.
What's the word? Like people working in the same field or whatever.
Colleagues.
Right? So, if I get a deal or something comes my way, I can be like, hey, Shannon, here's such and such a deal. I can't take it right now. Or, we get that type of atmosphere. Because that's how the whole thing started with the auction. So, I took 3 of them, and I was not able to be there at the time. I was in the hospital with my mom, but I was just like, hey, y'all get on the call.
Yeah.
This is what y'all need to do. This is what y'all need to focus on. This is how you win. And I said, just do it. And they all got together. Didn't know each other from Adam or Eve. Just knew they all worked with me. And they all got lots in the auction.
Yeah.
So I was like, awesome. So
sweet.
Yeah.
So last question, one for both of you. So, Shannon, you go first. What was, if you could name one, good thing or best thing being in your position as a mentee, being able to access a mentor, like what was poured into you? What was, maybe a favorite thing or the best thing thus far?
Oh, that's a tricky question. The best thing that I've received so far.
Yeah, if you can pick one, or oh wow, this was really, I loved it, I appreciated it.
Yeah.
Not saying nothing else was, but just something.
I think. Can I say two things?
Hey, you got it.
So there's a phrase called the art of the start, and it just talks about how when things are new, I think that's the name of a book too, but when things are new or are in your mind, they seem really big or really challenging. Sometimes getting started is just the hardest part. If you can just get started, if you can just get over the hump, if you can just defeat all of the hurdles that are mostly just in your mind, right? You can run. You will start to crawl, then you'll start to walk, and then you'll start to run. And I think for Danielle, she was just the trigger to start. Like, just helps me to believe that it's gonna be okay. I can start. If I make a mistake, my life's not gonna fall. Just like you're just like, what if I do something wrong? But like, it's okay. Trial and error, you learn. And so I think just helping me to start, and then also I think just encouraging and reinforcing, just to believe in myself as a woman in this industry. Even if I don't know, I don't have to know everything about electrical and insulation and floorboards and wood and all these things to get in it, to ask the questions I need to ask, to do a little research, to stay on top of things. Like, it's okay, and I will learn as I go, and I'm learning all kinds of things as I'm going. And so I think those things, just getting started, and just the encouragement to be confident, because this is where I am, this is the space that I'm in, and I want to take up space in this space. I just want to be confident in what I'm doing.
Okay, now Danielle, being the mentor, what was probably the best thing or favorite thing you could remember, or say, being able to pour into someone?
I think the best thing is, for me, and especially working with Shannon and my other folks as well, is that I share information on one thing or guide them, and then they also do something else great that I never thought of, and I'm like, dang, I never thought of that. Okay, so you're using this thing to design inside? What's that website? Shannon goes above and beyond what I've given, and then she comes back and like, here's the interior, here's this, and I'm like, whoa, you got all this already? We just on framing. And I'm like, okay, this is awesome. So it's that giving them the confidence boost they need to get this thing started, and then they just super surpass my expectations, right? So I know when this place is done, it's going to be fabulous, and be ready for the next one.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite phase thus far of construction, or anything like oh wow, okay, anything yet? Go ahead.
Was maybe, I don't know if this is weird or not, but I was super excited when they put in the windows and the doors.
Okay.
I was like, this is looking like a house. The framing was really cool too, but for some reason, when they started putting in windows and doors, I'm like, this is real. So I was pretty excited about that. I think to come, I was quite tickled as well when they put in my little gold drains in the bathtubs. So I think I'm gonna be excited when sheetrock comes and we start to build out the interior. In my house right now, I have little samples of tile and stone and floor and all the things. So when we get to sort of the creativity part, I know I'm gonna be excited about that too.
So I would say you're on it, because to have your drains the same color that your fixtures are going to be, you have to have that ahead of time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people forget that on their first property. No, that's, you're a pro. Like,
I didn't know, but I'm learning.
Yeah.
Because I remember when my contractor, he was like, you got to pick your drains. And I'm like, I have to pick drains already? We don't have sinks and things. And he said, yeah, but I have to put that in, and that needs to match the other things. So you kind of need to decide.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful, because throughout this process, since it's my first one, I know I'm new, but I've just been keeping a document. It's literally called Things I'm Learning as I Build, or whatever I named it, but just things that I'm learning. Like, I didn't know for the second draw, in draws are the payments that the bank gives you periodically as certain stages of the project are completed. But I didn't know for the second draw that you have to have front doors, back doors, and windows in. And so at that point, my contractor was like, well, what door do you want? Well, the door I wanted, you have to order, and it's going to take 4 weeks to get here. But we needed the door today to get the money. Yeah. So now I know that. So we just put temporary doors on, which actually work out so that my pretty doors don't get banged up while they're working on it.
Exactly.
But these are things that, in hindsight, if I'd known at the beginning of this, I would have shopped doors, had them ordered, ready to go. But catch me on the second build, because your girl gonna be on it then.
So for the design aspect, have you had to like step back and like, okay, you know what, it's gonna be a rental or a midterm rental? Did you have to like, you know, watch a little bit, or did you stay on budget?
I have to keep reeling me in. I think my contractor's doing a little bit of that too, cause but I'm trying to keep it simple, but make sure that the things that I'm gonna do count. And so I think a little bit of the gold fixtures will go a long way. I think I might do an accent wall in the front and in the master bedroom that matches. And so I want the property to feel like somebody thought about it with love and intentionality and still stay within the budget. So we're working both angles.
And what type of rental is going to be? Is it going to be short term, midterm, long term?
So the goal is for this to be a midterm rental. And I know even in our city right now, it's been sort of a battle with the short-term rentals, which I understand. I know they're very lucrative and people want to make money, which I get. And also I know it's been challenging in terms of just keeping housing affordable in neighborhoods, which I also understand. The reason that I landed at midterm rentals is because it's longer term than a short-term rental. There's less heat on them right now. And I think it gives an opportunity to create spaces for people who are coming into the city to bring value. So a lot of times that can be traveling nurses. A lot of times that can be people coming here for months to do business or make investments here in the city. That could be a family whose house burned down and their insurance company is paying for them to be in a space until the house is rebuilt. So I really liked that aspect of welcoming people who are generally here to bring value, but still being able to garner more of a premium in terms of income because it's fully furnished and all of the amenities and things are taken care of. So kind of the best of both worlds.
In the next, let's say 3 to 5 years, what are your goals and aspirations in real estate?
Man, I don't know if I was ready for that one. The next 3 to 5 years, what are my goals and aspirations? I think, to be honest, I don't have the full road mapped out, but what I plan to do is to continue to build on the momentum that I've created. And my goal and prayer is that I'll keep making moves that will springboard me to the next move. For example, how we did when we bought this property and it came with the lot. And then also, it was before we started this build, there was an auction. There's an auction every year here in New Orleans where they auction off some properties. And I remember even a year or two ago talking to contractors and asking them, where are you getting these lots? Sometimes I'd be just driving down the road and see someone building a house and I'd be like, how did you get the lot? Like, how, tell me. And they'd be like, oh, I bought it on the auction. And I'm like, and so I remember a year or two ago, I checked out the auction, but I was so intimidated I didn't know anything about buying properties online. But this year, I felt like, you know what? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Why don't I just get in the auction and just see? And it just so happens that I ended up winning a lot here in the same neighborhood, 2 minutes away from here. That's a lot that's actually, it's the one lot is more than double the size of this one. So I'm like, boom, I can subdivide that lot and build 2 more houses after this one. So just to keep making moves that will springboard me to the next move. And I don't know if those will be houses that I keep or houses that I sell so I can have more capital to do other things. But I think just to keep moving forward, to keep learning, to keep the momentum, and then also on the way to share what I'm learning, which is something that I love to do. And I love just talking to, like, whatever I know, just to give it away, because I'm so grateful for Danielle and other people who I've met who just helped me and helped to fill in the gaps, things that I would have never learned or things that would have taken me a really long time to learn. And I feel like for me, that's just as rewarding as seeing the house go up and getting the rent check. So, yeah.
And that's going to bring us into our next question, just for you kind of like to elaborate on like the importance of mentorship and, the effects of like the relationship that you have with Danielle and how it propelled you and, how you want to keep that going as well.
Yes. I think mentorship is so important, not just in real estate, in life. I know it's really attractive for people to say things like, I'm a self-made this and I'm a self-made that. And I get that definitely there are people who have had more help than others. But generally speaking, nobody is self-made. We all need people. We all need help. And a lot of times, the more solo you are, the longer it's going to take you to get somewhere, the longer it's going to take you to learn something. And one thing that my pastors taught me is that they always wanted to be people that other people could stand on their shoulders. And even the church that I'm pastoring now, I know that just the fruit that's there is because of the people who've come before me, the shoulders that I'm standing on. And so, yeah, I might go further and faster than they ever did, but that's not because I'm better or smarter or wiser. That's because I'm standing on some shoulders that came before me, and they paid a price before me so that I could start at a different place than they had to start. And so I think the same even with my relationship with Danielle. She's been in the game a lot more years than me. She owns more properties than me. She's seen some of the things that I'm dealing with now, has dealt with more contractors, has built more houses. And so the wisdom that's poured into this process from somebody who's been there, done that, is only going to add value. It's only going to make it better. It's only going to sharpen me and make you better. And so I think that mentorship is so important, but I also think the humility to receive from a mentor and to listen, even if sometimes your opinion may be different, but to hear what they're saying and to really listen and to weigh it out because they have been there before you, especially if it's somebody that that person just wants to see you win.
And where is the church located?
Mid-City, 4737 Canal Street, baby.
Okay, and what's the name? What's the name?
I'm about to do a whole church program right now. It's called House of Prayer every Sunday, 11 a.m.
Okay.
We're there.
Okay. So really, what's next for you? So are you leaving it up to God, or you just?
Yeah. So I think the next thing, in the short term, the next thing, my goal in April is to get this house rented out. I know it's not done being built, but I built a 3D model on this little website for free called Homes by Me, I think it's called. And so I just took the architectural plans, mapped it out on the site, and basically put together what I think the inside's going to look like. But I want to take those images and throw them up and see if I can get it rented so that as soon as it's done, I can have someone moving in. As soon as it's done and furnished, we can have someone moving in so there's no downtime. And then I know the next step after that is to start on the two lots the one lot that's going to be two lots that I bought in the auction. So probably this is April's coming, May, I'll work on subdividing that lot so that it's ready to go and in shape to be built on.
Definitely love it. And where can the people find you?
You can find me anywhere. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. Shay Briggs on Instagram, SHAYBRIGGS. That was my rap name back in the day. Well, it's still my rap name now. So I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm even on YouTube, Shay Briggs.
Yes. Let us know. Like when is your YouTube channel coming to document this? Your real estate, your rap, the ministry. It's coming out. It's jumping out. So where is it at?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm about to start updating my YouTube a little more. But right now, you'll probably find more current things on my Facebook, on Instagram. If you want to check out any of my music on iTunes, it's just Shay Briggs. You can check it out there. New stuff to come soon. Stuff there's a little old, but it's coming soon. And That's it. That's me. If you ever want to see me in person, Sunday at 11 a.m., House of Prayer, baby, 4737 Canal Street.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay. And are we going to be invited to see the house when it's furnished and completed for a part 2?
Absolutely. Yes. You guys have to come back. You have to see it. You got to check my design, see if you like it, see if it feels like it was made with love. Yeah, you'll be able to see downstairs, upstairs. Hopefully we'll have some landscaping going by then. And if you're lucky, I may take you to the next lot so you can catch the vision for the next 2 builds.
Yes, love it. Thank you.